Hey guys, this is Scott the Gastric Tiger here with my week 188 video. Just wanted to start out with my numbers. High weight of 380 pounds. Had surgery on October 28th of 2013 with Dr. Delatorre here in Columbia, Missouri, through Missouri Bariatric. The day of surgery weight was 142. I had a low weight of 118. That was in November of 2014, and now last week I came to you sitting at the mid 190s. I'm pretty much still there. Today I weighed in at 192 or 292. I wish 192. But anyway, if you're new to my channel, thanks for watching. I know I have a few new subscribers, and for all my old friends, thanks for watching also. Just kind of want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been thinking, what I've been doing, and what I've been eating. So here we go. What I've been eating. I've kind of settled into a rhythm with this thing, and having a shake or a smoothie, depending on how much time I have in the morning for breakfast. Really loving the green smoothies. My current recipe that I am enjoying is about a cup of berries and cherries, some spinach, and almond milk, and sometimes a banana too. So, and that's been delicious. Then for lunch, I've normally been doing a salad with meat, depending on what I have in the fridge. Lots of times it's either steak, or this last week has been a lot of smoked meat, and tahini goddess dressing. It's like my absolute favorite, and it doesn't take very much to like cook everything. So that's been lunch, and then dinners have just been pretty random, but reasonable. What I've been doing. Last week I had an appointment with my bariatric doctor for a follow-up to see how I did this last month, and I'm down 5 pounds by his scale over the month, which I know in our minds we always want to have a little bit more. But the discussion I had with him was really interesting, because the way he put it was, this medically managed weight loss is always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be a back and forth. And you always just sort of want more wins than losses in that battle. And so, being down 5 pounds, that's a huge win. Last weekend, I had the weekend off. It was Memorial Day weekend, so we got out the smoker and did a huge meal prep. We did just this ginormous pork shoulder, 2 chickens. We did, I think, 4 steaks, and we did onions and peppers to do fajitas, and Bridget loves pineapple, so we grilled some pineapple, and zucchini, and that's we've been eating on that all week. In fact, at the end of the week, I put a lot of it away in the freezer in airtight bags, so that way whenever we want something, we can just pull it out of the freezer and have healthy options. So that's what I did last weekend. This couple days ago weekend, we were in Kansas City to see my little cousin do a play. He was Templeton the Rat in their production of Charlotte's Web. So that was really fun, and had some time with them. But I think the big thing that I'm taking home from this last weekend is I really made some good choices. Um, Anytime we're at mom's, the food is plentiful and delicious. And sometimes it's very, very hard to make good decisions. Um, but she provided me with some good options, and so I took advantage of that. Um, when I got there, I knew breakfast was going to be an issue because she always does a big breakfast. So I went and I bought me some protein shakes to leave there, and that's what I had for breakfast in the mornings. Um, and then for lunch, one day we had I had a big salad because she had um, a lot of lettuce for me, good spring mix, and she had done some like Kahlua pork, which is like a pork that you put in the crock pot for like 9 hours, and oh, it is delicious. But I put a little bit of that over some greens, and I had a great salad for lunch that day. And the other day, I had zucchini noodles instead of regular noodles with spaghetti, and that was also quite delicious. Anyway, yeah, it's a huge win for me to be able to actually make good choices instead of just kind of going with the flow, which is so much easier sometimes. This week we have Vacation Bible School. I'm going to be doing that every night this week from 5:15 until 9 o'clock. I signed up to work with third graders. Last night was interesting. Very high energy kids. Crazy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. This year's theme is ninja, so it's sort of karate and that sort of thing centered, and it's interesting. And it's always fun to see the kids grow throughout the week. So that's what I've been doing. What have I been thinking? 7 minutes in, probably should have done this first. But I've been thinking a lot about my fat filters. And we view the world through filters that have come into our lives throughout our come into our lives, and those taint the view that we have of the world. And lots of times those filters are very destructive, and sometimes they're very hard to find and identify. But since I started really thinking about it, one filter popped to the surface, and it's a biggie. It is a biggie. And that filter is scarcity. I got to thinking about why I do what I do, especially around food. And I got to thinking about how this manifests. For example, I have a few things written down. Why do we have a second helping when we're not hungry? It's because it's there, and it's not always going to be there, so we go for it. Bad choice, driven by scarcity. Another thing, why do we feel like we have to eat unhealthy foods when work provides them? I know all of us have the break room syndrome, where they bring in pizza or donuts or name something. Most of the time it's unhealthy. I don't know why they don't just bring in fruit and vegetable. That would be, I guess that wouldn't be a treat for most people. But why do we feel like we need to eat it when it's there? Why do we buy candy around the holidays when we don't eat candy on a normal basis? I know I'm guilty of this. Whenever it's Halloween, I want, or Easter, I always want Reese's peanut butter cups. Do I eat Reese's peanut butter cups on a normal basis? No. But for some reason, because they're only there for a short amount of time, I feel like I need to have them around the holidays. Why? And talking about holidays, why do we feast the way we do when we have family get-togethers, especially holidays? And it's because it's a limited amount of time. You only have the chance to have those foods during that time. I mean, this is the way we think. So we eat as much as we can, and most of the time more than what we can, and make ourselves sick. I know I've done that multiple times, even since surgery. Another one, why do we feel like we need to go out and get that fast food item that is new and sounds good when we don't eat fast food? I know this is another one of mine. And these are, here are just a few things that I caught just this week. Sometimes I caught them afterwards. But, you know, for instance, I picked up a can of Pringles at the store because it was a flavor I hadn't seen before, and I didn't think I could get them anywhere else. So I picked up this thing of Pringles. I don't eat Pringles. I don't eat chips in general. But for some reason, I just felt like I needed to pick it up. And luckily I caught myself before I got to checkout, and I set it back down. They had ice cream at work this week. We had a spring cleaning day, and they had an ice cream social afterwards. And I had no intent of having ice cream, but for some reason I wandered over there and I grabbed one. Because it's only there for a certain amount of time, and they don't always provide that kind of thing. I bought 3 bags of sunflower seeds yesterday. There were new flavors that I had never seen before. Sunflower seeds can be a good healthy thing, but it was scarcity. It was a limited amount of time. It was on special, so I had to get them. They had a pizza at the VBS training at church, and I had every intention of going home and having a healthy option, because I had all this great smoked meat in my fridge and veg. And what did I do? I had pizza because it was there, and I don't normally have pizza around, so it's a scarcity thing. Let's see. This last weekend, there was one bad choice I made that I had kind of paid for. We went out to Applebee's with my aunt and uncle and cousins after the show to celebrate, and I don't normally go to Applebee's, and it was happy hour, so it was half-price apps. So I bought 2 fried food apps. I bought some sriracha shrimp and some boneless hot wings, and I tried to eat all of them. Why? Because I don't normally have those foods around me, and so I felt that it was it's a scarcity thing. And that zucchini spaghetti that I had on Sunday, I actually had a second helping when I really wasn't hungry, but it was just so delicious, and I knew I wasn't going to have another chance to have it, so I ate it. So scarcity, I mean, it's a huge thing, especially in our society these days. We live in a world of scarcity where people try to say there's only so many resources, and we all need to get ours before someone else gets them. And I think that over time has creeped into my mindset. I didn't grow up having to fight for food. Food was like one of the things that we had an overabundance of. but we were low income. My dad was a shoe salesman, and my mom did odds and ends, part-time jobs to make the ends meet. And with my sister being severely mentally and physically handicapped, we just didn't have a whole lot of money to do a whole lot of things. So I think early on, the idea that we have limited resources really sunk in with me. And then when I got to college, being young, married, just out of college, I know when we were in college, buying a pizza was huge. I mean, that was a major budgetary commitment. And so when we got out of college and we started making money, we bought a lot of pizza. It's because it was scarce before, and now we feel like we need to have it. Yeah, scarcity, and it affects so many things in my life. I'm finding it's probably my biggest filter. I'm sure there are other filters around that I'll find, but that's my first one and my biggest one. So I'm sitting at 16 and a half minutes, so I need to let you guys go. It was nice talking to you. Hope you tune in again. So until next time, remember to have the courage to get out there and be the new you this week. And remember that every small step adds up to an epic adventure. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.